starting from October 2021. Also, 9 million doses are expected, 9 million doses of Johnson & Johnson from the African Union, meant for 9 million. So for somebody who did math, you at least can start to expect what will come. Also, the COVAX community committed themselves to provide donations to up to 18 million doses. That is commitment, we are not sure, but that's what at least they promised. With all that information, we are optimistic, and we know that all those developments are going to help us meet the target. Okay. So that means that we are focused now on starting school. Now, as we resume these lessons after, what do you think these schools need to do for us to at least not go back to the same mistakes we did? I will start with you, Joel.
One, I want to appreciate government's initiative, especially with all the efforts that we have seen happening in the course of the pandemic. I want to appreciate them. Now, about the communication of the Minister of Health about the vaccines. Of course, I am not very clear about that. I must say that most of us, we are seeing it to be an optimistic projection.
Yeah, since we are basing on the
it's very good to be optimistic, but realistically, I don't know whether they are donations or we are purchasing.
We are purchasing the 9 million.
We are purchasing them. Yeah. So we have been seeing vaccinating all the students to be kind of just an optimistic way of thinking about it. I don't know, let's just hope for the best. But for me, I would, as a student, because I'm also a student, I would think that government should put a lot of effort on changing the mindset of both the students and the parents, of course. Because it begins with the funder, that is the one who injects the money. Because we need to adopt technology. Yes, we need to adopt technology, and it will take us there. Because we are seeing it as something expensive or something hard for us to take on, which is not the case. Because setting up facilities for students, we have been talking about senior ones, where we are going to have 2 groups. Now, in the normal course of study, that means if a school has been admitting something like, when I was in Barai School, when we went for the first semester, we were around 400.
Yes.
So in this case, I will think that in Barai School we have up to 800 senior ones. If at all the situation remains, I expect it to have grown, which is something that's not going to be contained. Even if we have vaccinated most of the students, we have seen people who are getting the virus even after finishing the dose, taking both doses.
Because there are many variants out there.
Yes, so I think we need to have a change of mindset. We have been seeing technology as an evil. Okay? Every time you talk about a phone in the setup of secondary school, they will think about pornography. Okay?
Or misuse.
They will think about misuse.
Yes.
You get? I want us to change the mindset. You know, these whites, of course, we critique them on several cases, but we need to also look at the right side where we can borrow something.
Yes.
They get the kids used to technology from the very first time.
Yes.
Now we are having nursery studies online in the US and those places, but for us we have even failed at university.
I will put some question to you now.
Yes.
That I can generally agree that the population or the youth or these students or pupils are now relatively well versed with technology.
Yes, yes.
But now the question is, the ones who are supposed to implement or operate these technological means,
Yes.
for example, the teachers or lecturers, we find that from the eras that they studied in, they are the actual challenges to this.
And indeed, by the way, I've also seen it. I don't want to say much about that, but we have that challenge. But we need to adopt. We need to make learning to become part of the norm.
Yes.
Because you don't need a lot of time to know how a phone operates. If you have, I don't have an iPhone. If you have seen iPhone, there's the way it's deep. There's when I borrowed my friend's iPhone, but I tried to even remove things. It is kind of hard. So you need to learn. Initial training. Okay? And some of the lecturers have learned, the old ones. They have learned, and some universities are going on. So if government would make it favorable for online learning to happen, okay? Of course, it begins with, is it called bandwidth? What we call data, okay? Government should, of course, liaise with these service providers, the Airtel, MTN, to make it a little bit cheaper, okay? Because the government has that capacity. I want to think like that. Government has that capacity. And then sensitization, beginning with our parents, because there's a very big milestone there. To convince the parent, there was a meme going over media, I think this week, of a parent who had bought data for a student and was seated behind to see what actually this guy is doing when the guy is attending an online lecture. I don't know whether you guys saw it. So there's a work to do there. Government should sensitize the parent and also to sensitize the student, so that, because there's also that chance that a student will, get on the phone and go to the other stuff, which is not the right thing to do. So we need to be sensitized to be able to use technology as so that even after the pandemic, life will be easier. I don't know whether you have seen recently, even URA and most of these institutions, they have resorted to online. You can just make something that would require you to go to Kampala and come back. Even spend some days, just do it in a few minutes. In a few minutes, just get on your computer, download some forms, print them out, fill them, upload them without, going anywhere. So we need to really adopt and take on technology as a substitute for these problems.
Mr. Devin, my question to you is that before we can embrace this technology, because it has its own dynamics, we find that implementing it is also not an easy task. But provided that we resume schools and we have these double classes, double sets of students in the same class, what do you think should be the way to go about it? Do you agree with government's opinion to have shifts, or to have at least an alternative? And I think you will argue not from that very feeling of you not being in touch with the others.
Okay. About that, right now, government, the plan it has for us, looking like now it is the new normal, and we need to adhere to the new normal. There is this saying, when the difficult situations or they call for difficult measures.
When the stuff gets going, the going gets done.
So right now, since we're in this, no need of lamentations. We now need to look what to do next. Where are we going?
Yes.
If it is me studying with the guy that was in senior 4, I'll have to do it because I know it is the one who will do it. I will not complain. I'm not going to lament, because at the end of the day, if I lament, there is no solution.
Yes.
And yet we still want to move on. So if it is that we go studying shifts, I think the government must have thought through, and they must have come up with this solution basing on some note. If they see that it is that way that it should be, we go study with with the senior 4s, the ones who are in senior 4. We study with them in shifts. Probably the morning session is either ours or theirs. There it is okay. But then there is another alternative that can be there. Maybe we can study, because now on a normal occasion, A-level has 2 classes. Even this time, A-level has 2 classes. It would be a challenge when there were 3 classes if senior 6 was still in. But now senior 6 is out. And I believe that the facilities that were accommodating the senior 6s are now empty.
Yes.
Yeah.
So why can't we now use the senior 6 facilities, be in those facilities? Now, for us, assume that we are in senior 6. Now, it becomes the work of the teachers to give us content, feed our brains in the shortest time period way that it can be done before we get to UNEP. And the other students as well be in the senior 5 facility. It will be like the normal procedure that has always been done. Senior 5, senior 6. The only difference is for the senior sixes who will be in the senior six facilities, in the head they will be incompetent for the senior six, but they will be fed. I believe will be fed with knowledge and will be studying normally.
Yes.
And speaking about the new normal, now this has to be a lesson for us.
Yeah.
This has to be a very big lesson for the government as well, because we cannot keep on, because Corona might stay.
Yeah.
It may not leave. What if it stays? Rumors are in that there is the third wave. I remember last time when we went back for school, rumors came in that there is the second wave, and I actually thought it was rumors. But now I'm back home. Even the third wave, the rumors are available.
Yes.
I think we might even go back and again come this side. So this has to be now a big lesson that we have to adhere to change. If COVID has showed us that we need now to start using the internet facilities very well, know that a student in Form 1 needs to access a smartphone, sit and go for an online class or a laptop. Let it be that way. Not as to be rigid, not as to now see on the other stuff that are associated with the internet, pornography, all that, because all that is useless, Khaled. But for a student, some students will tend to go there. But now it comes back to the students. You know what you want in life.
Yeah.
It is you who knows your destiny. You know what you want. A parent is not going to sit, fail to work, and be supervising. You make sure you're doing the right thing. I believe you being in secondary, your mind itself should be said that I know what I want. This is good for me. This is bad for me. It's not a must that the parent sits and all the time has to monitor you. That is a big challenge. So if it is the internet we are going to be using, let us use the internet for the right purpose. Because these books that we are using, these secondary books that we'll be using, the textbooks, you find them online. You download. I've been there, I've downloaded this book for mathematics. That book is available for all the students who are there who never knew. The book is available, don't use for math. It is there, people can go there, you download it. Backhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even for economics, the books are online. You download them. For online classes, I myself have been there. They are not very efficient. But if you can download those books, you read through your own time. Because now we look at the fact that you're not in class, no one is going to disturb you. You're not going to look on any other side. In a class, you can choose not to study with the other students surrounded. But now you are alone. You're the one who has a choice for yourself. I choose to study or I leave it. So it is now, it goes back to the student and the internet, how we're going to utilize it. And again, us going back to school, how are we going to study? The government, what it is doing, yes, sincerely it is good. There's at least there's a picture that we are moving ahead and we have to learn and we have to finish. That is good.
So I understand from your good submission the fact that you want to quickly progress and become a candidate leaving behind these others. But now, you realize that what COVID has forced us to realize is that we have to have a change in our mindset, which is the reason why you people are dwelling much on the technological part of it. When you talk of students denying them devices and data because you want them not to go that side,
Yeah.
of course I believe if somebody really wants to access whatever he wants, this person can get 500, go to a certain cafe or to a certain, so this information can be obtained. But can we train this mindset of this student to focus only on education?
Talking about that, I believe with technology, there is a way how that can be done. Because even when you go on DSTV, there is parental control. There is a way you can control your child to stop him from looking at bad pictures. I believe if you can set for your child the computer, you get someone who knows how to use those computers very well. They set for you a system whereby the student only looks at the education part of it, not to go into the other unrelated issues. If it is internet, I hear there is artificial intelligence. You cannot, like on Facebook, you cannot put there pornography. It can't. There is a way it detects itself that this can't be there. If they can look for a way how to put such a system into this online class thing, at least it would be somehow good. And again, cutting down the costs of the internet. Because these service providers we have, I believe where they get the data from, it is unlimited. The packaging should now be different for a student. It shouldn't be the same packaging of 15 MBs that have to last for 24 hours.
Yes.
I mean, why would I purchase something and then you tell me it has to last for 24 hours? The packaging has to now change totally. If I'm buying data, don't time me. Let me use it until when it gets done. Then I can buy more. Not me timing, not you timing me. We'll have to use it for 24 hours. Because I know where they get it from. I know it is unlimited. So the packaging has to change. And again, the system, let the students be set. They give them a system. They give them a system that can detect if a student goes on the other line.
Yes.
They block all those social media handles. They block all that the pornography sites. They block everything such that there's no way how a student is going to open them. They open for him on the one tab, learning, full stop.
Thank you very much, Mr. David, for that good submission, just like Joel's previously. And of course, you can also be part of us, that is our viewers who are watching this. You can be a part of us, sharing us your opinions regarding this very, very hot topic. As we are set to open, what do you want us to do, or how do you want us to go about the reopening of the school? From the break, we are going into a short break, but from the break we shall be looking at Joel, your community and your municipal council. What are you doing? Because when we keep saying government, you're an organ of government. And I want to know what you people are doing, if you're already doing something. Then also, as we conclude on this very topic, and also expounding on the current USCE results, which were so well performed that universities have considered to raise their entry points. All this after this short break.
Are you looking for new or refurbished laptops? Or do you need to have your PC repaired and maintained? Do you need accessories for computers or phones? Are you in search of a printer or decoder? Worry not. If you're in Mbarara, you can now get all this from PAL Technologies. Find us at former Nakmat Building, room 14, or call us on 0777 525820. Do you have Uganda at heart? How about buying products made in Uganda by Ugandans from a Ugandan online shop anywhere, anytime?
Introducing GuzaUG.com, a one-stop center for Uganda's locally made products. Buy Uganda, build Uganda.
I am Ugandan.
How to tell the difference between real or fake honey.
Get natural honey only from our Pure Bees Products Limited, leaders in bee farming, bee consultancy, bee hives, standard honey extraction equipment, bee products value addition, and fumigation.
Find us in Badara City, in Tare Road, opposite Stanbic Bank, or call us on 0784-278172 or 0709-844134. You can also buy our honey from www.guzaug.com.
Welcome from that very, very, very short break. And before that break, we expounded on the fate of having double sets of students in the same class, where we looked at senior ones who are about to start, but also are being joined by primary 7 vacists whose results have been recently out, and also looking at the fact that our sub-candidates have not yet completed their special term to proceed to be candidates. And also we expounded on the fact that vaccination seems to be pushing us to the right direction of us reopening of schools. So, and for you to be part of this show, you can share your opinion we are live on Facebook, you can share your comments on YouTube. This program always is uploaded on Facebook and WhatsApp for you to watch in case you want to rewatch or you missed it. And anytime you want to be part of this, you are most welcome. Before the break, I inquired about how we can change the mindset. And you wanted to say something about that.
Yes, yes. I wanted to say something about the mindset. Now, youthful stage is a very challenging stage.
Yes.
But it's inevitable. For you to be that gray-haired man that you see in your village or in your town,
Yes.
you must go through this challenging time. Okay? And the decision that you make today really will tell our state, because I'm one of them, will tell the state that we shall be in when we reach those times. So we need, first of all, to adopt technology. But technology comes with those challenges of pornography, of, those sorts of things. And recently there is this thing of memes,
Yes.
you know? You can just go there and look at the
Waste
memes
time.
and just be happy,
Yes.
and the day goes, and another day comes, it goes,
Yes.
you know? But we need to be, as youth, this brother of mine was talking about the controls, the parental controls, and DSTV and all that. I don't know how possible they are on these phones. I don't know whether you can block YouTube from, stopping the guy from. But you see, also this YouTube has very wonderful videos. You can study your physics on YouTube. You can get those tutorials there. So I don't know how good it would be for us to use that style of blocking access of some of those things. But for me, I want to focus on you as a youth, me, Joel, as a young man. You need to be clear with what you want. We need to be very clear with what we want. And take a picture, no, those pornography. Is it really what you need as a young man? Is it what you need? You need to be very sure whether this is what you're choosing is what you need.
Yes.
I know. The biggest thing with it is that there's addiction.
Yes.
There's addiction. My approach to addictions is I usually don't see that's what it is.
Yeah.
I fail to drink alcohol because of the fear of addiction. And then there's also these, when we were in high school, there was this thing of, is it coffee? You would choose some coffee and then you would be sober the whole night. But then they told me it's addictive. Okay? That means you're going to reach a time when if you don't have those coffee things to chew, you're not going to do anything.
Yes.
You get? So please, you need to be very conscious, and addiction is a very heavy thing. You will take so many years to get over with it. So know what you want, make sure you choose to study. If you want to study with the internet, please study. Yes.
Adding to that is, of course, from this very stage of high school, you will most likely join campus. And by joining campus, you are exposed to all this liberty.
Yes.
Whenever, and this is a wake-up call to our students, to train them from the very tender age, to grow up knowing that I have liberty to do whatever I want.
Yeah.
But then, in that very liberty, I should have certain restrictions based on the implications that result from having such liberties. But then, all that having been said, as Mbara Municipal Council, you're the General Secretary, what have you been recording in your discussions regarding this matter?
Thank you so much, Sam.
Yes.
This is, it's called Mbara City Council, Youth Council.
Yes.
Okay? We went to the city status.
Yes.
As a city, So me, like he said, I'm a general secretary of Mbara City Youth Council. This is a council of 9, I think it is 9. We went through an election. It was a little bit chaotic, but that's but we emerged. One thing I need to be clear about is that when you're talking about government, they say you are in government.
Yes, you are in a certain structure of government.
Yes.
Because government respects bureaucracy.
Yes. Now, what I need to be clear about on that is that for us, what we do is more of a lobbying job than you know,
Yes.
administration and all that. So ideally, I don't sit don't sit there at Barastay what and you know, you get it. So what we do is to communicate to government about the feeling of the youth and what the youth of the city feel they need for them to be fine. Okay? So such an opportunity like this one is always good enough. So what we do basically is that when there's a government project for the youth, you know, we are lucky that we are living in a time when the government has had some consideration for the youth. However, as young men, me and you, all of you, and the viewers there, we are seeing that it's not yet good enough. Okay, we are seeing that however government has considered having some leaders. You know, we are having youth MPs. You are also looking at me as yes. Recently, we wanted to have a youth MP as a minister. You know,
Yes.
that's what government has been looking at. And then government, you know, there's what we call youth livelihood. I don't know whether you have heard of it. Yes, then we have also had recently is what they are calling the parish model. I don't know whether it's a project that's coming in. It's based in a city setting and municipality. There's what we call ward. You know what?
Yes.
Just a group of a few villages. So there's going to be some funds coming to the wards, to the parish, and there will be a committee of 7 to, you know, like a young man. You come, you say, I can do this project. It can be agriculture, it can be a small business, and you get some funds. Okay, so for us what we do is to sensitize the youth. When you get this money, please don't take it for alcohol, don't take it for this and that. Okay, so like it's more of an activism job. You get it?
Yes.
But recently, for me, what I'm advocating for, from fellow youth leaders and youth, is that government should also consider involving the youth in everything. If it is public sector, there should be, because in future, you're not going to say that the youth will be in businesses only. No. We need to see the youth in government. I'm not talking of political positions. I'm talking of if it is municipal council there, we should see the youth there doing some work or two, so that the other youth, when they will come, they will have somebody to guide them in future days. If it is all these institutions, we should have the youth active, because these are the people who have been exposed to technology. Okay?
Yes.
In these times when we are studying online, youth have been engaged with technology a little more than our elder parents. Okay? So I think the youth, we have something to contribute to government, and also, you know, they used to tell us that when you have cows and you don't have these young cows, what do you call them? We are not cattlemen. The calves, eh? The calves. And when you don't have those calves, you really do not have a herd to boost around.
Yeah.
Okay? So I think government should continue and do more strongly to engage the youth and put them in a better position. That's basically what we do.
Talking about empowering and sensitizing them with technology, empowering youth technology is a platform that is here to empower youth. All the technology. This includes very many packages, among which is media, the one that is bringing to you these opinions to be presented to government. With all that we have discussed and all the solutions that we are about to conclude offering to government, which immediate organization do you offer these solutions to in hierarchy, as Marion spoke?
Come again.
We have provided these solutions for government, but as a structure, which organization is slightly above you that you are ably presenting this information to, for it to reach the actual stakeholders of government?
Oh, now, to begin with, the Youth Council is a structure. Okay, it is a legal institution that can. It's like a legal person. I don't know whether you know that kind of setup where you find an institution has property, can own property the way an individual can do. So it is an institution that runs from the national level. We have a national chairperson. I don't know whether you know him. It's called Jacob Eyeru. He's the national chairperson. So the structures go down to the village level. There's always a village committee. I think I'm a chairman of Mbara High School village committee because I went through the steps. Okay.
So I want you to incline all those towards these students who are studying and embracing technology.
Towards technology. Eh? So from that level, we are reporting. I'm giving you the first level of reporting. We are reporting up to the national chairperson or the national council, which reports directly to government, central government. Okay. Then also at the city level, we work closely with the city council and the district. The division councils. You know, currently in Mbara we have two divisions: Mbara North Division and Mbara South Division. Okay. So about some of these issues of the youth, we report them directly to the councils. Okay. We have an issue, and at the city level, we can go to the city council and say, this is the issue that is concerning the youth. How can we resolve it? Okay. If there's a government project around, and maybe the youth have a certain perspective about that particular program, we go to the city and we say, look, this is what the youth are talking about it. Okay. And since we go through the structures, even me as a person, I can access the division offices, and we say as a division, because for me I fall in Mbara North Division. I say as a division, the youth of the division are having these issues, and this is what they think about it. This is what we can do to resolve it.
Okay. So that means we have the right channels and the right person to address these very concerns too. Apart from also having this video streaming wide up to the core of government.
Yes.
I want to know from Mr. Itad Devin. Of course, we have dwelt much on the senior ones and senior fives, and of course those who are joining campus. But we are not. What is the way forward to these other classes that are in between? Because as we are set to resume learning, what is there for these ones? Because they have to be affected in some way. Yes.
Those classes in the middle, senior 2, senior 3,
Yes.
around there. Now for those classes, actually it is, if Form 1s find these ones who are, if P7 graduates find the Form 1s there, then definitely there has to be a move. Because if a Form 1 now is going to go in senior 2, if the senior 2s are still there, they'll have to move. Senior 3s have to move. So, and we cannot have a class whereby it is going to be Form 1 and they will be studying in the same classrooms, because now we are looking at the fact of facilities. Some schools don't have enough facilities to accommodate 2 classes in 1 class. So now remember, there is an empty class in between. I think both sections, A level and O level, there is an empty class now. A level there is senior 6 empty, O level there is senior 4. If we can have them studying in those facilities, but knowing that they are still in senior 3, senior 3 is going to senior 4 facilities, but knowing that they are still in senior 3, same to the rest. In that order, at least there will be space.
I am dwelling on the fact that now that we have resumed classes and we have 2 sets of senior ones, one that if we are to go by government's decision, some going in the morning section and in the afternoon session, we find that since we are having Form 3s who are about to finish and go to senior 4, now it means that there has to be pressure exerted on Form 2s to quickly fill up the space of those who would have left for senior 4. Consequently, providing space for these ones who will be in Form 1. So in that kind of environment where we are trying to forge life, as we might term it, what is the quality of education around there? Is it a matter of us finishing, or are we even getting value from this process?
Speaking about that, like I had earlier said, desperate conditions call for desperate measures. We will have to put in mind that we have to be pushed because they are going to give us exams at the end of the day. We are going to sit for UNEP. You need content. It's either they enable the ones who set UNEP to choose to set for us what we have managed to study, or decide to set what we've not studied. But if it is upon us rushing to finish the syllabus, definitely, sincerely speaking, there will be most of the students, their head, you find that their heads cannot accommodate at the very first note. You realize you'll be studying during the day, prep time you'll be in a class, after prep probably you're tired, you need to sleep. But some students would want to push on. Let's say they pushed on up to 11 in the night. In the morning, there has to be a lesson. Teachers come and teach. Again, you just go for breakfast. Immediately you go back to class, resume. So that pressure that is exerted on your mind, too much work that you're putting in the books, you're getting less time to read it. You will decide to read in the night, which means you're not sleeping. You return to a nocturnal, okay. But then during the day, you won't be functional. That is, for a normal human being, you can't stay up all night and still stay up all day. That can't happen definitely.
You need around 8 hours, which most people refuse.
And we look at the mental part of it. They're exerting too much pressure on your head. You can't take that entire load. Some students will fail unless they change the marking, but some students will fail. And again, speaking on the fact of good quality education, even now till to date, we have graduates of senior 4 and senior 6 who are incompetent in the job market. Why should it be like that? You study for over 20 years, because I believe a person who's on a normal studying rate, a person who studies from baby class up to senior 6 has studied for over 20 years or 18 years.
But practically, this person is not able to.
Definitely. How can you study for 18 years and you are incompetent in the job market? What have you been studying?
Well, somebody will say I've learned English. To Mr. George, I want to know, from the eagle's eye, you are being, I will term you as somebody in the political field, or somebody in the influential position. Looking at, using the eagle's eye and looking into this scenario of this resumption of classes, we realize that first of all, there will be an immediate call for students to go to school.
Yes.
That means that has an implication on the parents' pocket.
Yeah.
That means that parents will not, most certainly not be prepared to have the money to pay. And there's also the fact that government is always rushing so that it goes back to the normal flow of
Majorly stabilizing the economy.
financial years, yes. So that when it is in a certain special flow, the usual flow, it is easier for government to implement its activity. So from the parent side and also government side, what do you think will be the situation to go about the resumption?
First of all, I must say that there will be that pressure.
Yes.
There will be that pressure, and that pressure will even come with very significant impacts. You know, there has always been a question about our education system, and I think now things will go worse, because the current situation really cannot produce the cream that you will want to see. Okay, but of course we have to first of all accept that, because we are not in the norm. There's going to be some changes, but also I want to appeal to government that we should not focus so much about time, because these are facts that have been, put onto our generation. Okay, everyone is suffering this, so we should not rush to release students. Okay, personally, I've told you I'm in my 4th year of a 3-year course.
However much you're not sure.
However much I'm not even sure, I might even run for my 5th year.
Yes.
Okay, but as a young man,
I believe your ID already expired.
my ID I think has expired.
Sorry about that. And as we conclude on all this topic, I wanted us to have our parting shots around the USE results that were out. The reason why I'm bringing that, you have said that we are not providing, we are not producing the quality that we should be having. But from somebody who has just read Sunday Monitor today morning, this person has realized that students have passed so well, especially these Form 6s, they have passed so well
Yes.
that universities such as Chambogo and Makerere are worried to even reach at the point of raising entry points for them.
Yeah.
What do you think and what do you say about that as you conclude on all this?
As we conclude, one, I must first commend the officials, because by the time they release that they release the results, they have marked, of course, and they have seen that's what the students deserve. But I also must say that as somebody who has been watching as a student, I know the challenges that have been there. I definitely don't think that these guys who have finished have had more than what the others had.
Yes.
I don't think like that, but it's natural. It's natural. Even I think it happens at university. I'm not a lecturer there, but I think usually when we are out of the norm, first of all, the kind of setting really should not be the same as what happens in the norm, and also marking really should not be like how they do in the normal course of business. Okay, so it's expected, and I really think there's nothing big about that. There would be a problem if it was like university, for example. I always give an example of these doctors. Now, this situation that we have been in, imagine somebody now, there was a meme saying that, let's say you were studying about the ear, you are going to meet a doctor and he say, I have a problem, and then he will tell you, no, this one, we had gone for lockdown. I didn't study that, okay? So since these boys and girls are crossing over to the university, because time will tell, they will reach there, and if they maybe do not excel in university, plus there's always a lot of new things to learn. So I think there's no crisis there.
Mr. David, as your last word on this, is the tremendous excellence in the USCE results as a result of being so good depending on the conditions in which they study?
On a good note, sincerely speaking, I don't think it is, because if we sincerely look at it in the normal picture, the way it was, we used to study normally, the way it has always been, and the performance we used to see. But now we are in a time whereby everything is not normal.
Yes.
You are not studying at the same pace that you used to study at school. Sincerely speaking, the environment of at home cannot be the same environment at school. A student who reads from school cannot be the same as the one who reads from home. We definitely know that the one who reads from school is going to at least achieve better than the one who has been at home.
Yes.
So now, you coming out saying that students performed very well, I think it might have been either through at least being lenient in the marking, or setting what they had covered earlier, not setting what they covered with the pressure. In doing that, the time when they went back, what they studied, not setting majorly that, because now they were considering the fact that the students were put on pressure to finish up the syllabus immediately. They might have considered that and decided to set the other past papers. But right now, I can't be sure, because I'm not the one who was setting them. But that's what I think, because on a normal occasion, it can't be that way. You cannot have a student studying from home passing better than a student who's at school.
Thank you very much, David, for that wonderful submission. Whatever case it might be, whether it was leniency in marking or setting exactly what they think they had covered, all that, we congratulate those who were able to pass amidst whatever circumstances that those people considered. Thank you very much, Mr. Ita David, for honoring this invitation and also being available to discuss your fate of being taught in Form 5. And thank you very much for coming.
You're most welcome.
Thank you very much, Awasa Joel, and he's the General Secretary of Mbarasite Youth Council. Thank you very much for honoring our invitation and always coming to share your opinion on this. Lastly, we want to thank our viewers of AIT TV for taking this opportunity and time to watch this session from wherever it started up to now that it has ended. You can again rewatch this, or in case you missed, you can gain access to this it is on YouTube, it is on Facebook. You can have access to it as and whenever you feel you want it. Thank you very much. Until next time, I wish you God's grace and peace.
Are you looking for new or refurbished laptops? Or do you need to have your PC repaired and maintained? Do you need accessories for computers or phones? Are you in search of a printer or decoder? Worry not. If you're in Mbarara, you can now get all this from Pearl Technologies. Find us at former Nakmat Building, room 14, or call us on 0777 525820. Do you have Uganda at heart? How about buying products made in Uganda